Elliott here. I'm the Director of Athletics at Fitness Quest 10. I'm here with our star intern, Chelsea. And what we're going to talk about today is the 5 drills that we do with every single one of our athletes, from young athletes to pro athletes, every single training day to get them faster. These are the fundamentals of speed. We have a lot of technology. We have a lot of really cool, effective, new piece of equipment. But if we can't master these drills, it doesn't matter what age you are, what level of athlete you are, it's going to be difficult for you to create real speed. So the first thing we want to look at is the feet. When it comes to speed, we want to look at the foot and ankle, where the rubber meets the road. So the first thing we're going to look at, these are called pogo hops. These are the first thing we make sure all our athletes, young and old, master. So you're going to start, I want you to stand straight up, good posture. I want you to pull your big toes to the top of your shoes, and I want you to lean forward until your heels almost come off the ground. So go lean forward until your heels almost come off the ground. Now, we're going to start hopping in place, just like that, using your arms to hop. You go pulling your toes up off the ground. What this does is it teaches a little stretch reflex right down at the Achilles tendon, and relax. Good. Now, if you're unable to do that, it's going to affect how fast your feet can come off the ground. So that's the first thing we're going to move to. Second one is marches. Running is a coordinated activity. Running has a lot of things that go on both sides of the body. Right knee drives up, left hand drives up, right leg drives back. So we got to make sure that we're able to do that. So we start that with marching. So all we're going to do is we're just going to walk and march. Notice how Chelsea right here, back is flat. If you can't maintain that flat back, if you're sitting here bending over like this, you're never going to get faster. You're never going to have the pillar strength. So marching forward, you go. And that's a march. You go and walk back. Like I said, there's a lot of technology. There's all kinds of things right now out there in the market, and they're great. But if you can't master these things, those things aren't really going to do a whole lot for you. Next, we're going to go on to skipping. Very basic drill. If you can't skip, you're not going to be able to get faster. So now we're going to go ahead and skip. Same thing as marching. Go ahead and skip up. Now, what I'm looking at here is we learn from the pogo hops where to put your feet into the ground, right over the middle of the foot. Look how our toes are pulled up, our knees are drived up, our arms are working right, everything's working right. Running is just a form of skipping, and relax, walking on back. Simplicity. Simplicity is beautiful. Like I said, every single day, every single one of these drills. If you're working with young athletes or if you have a youngster at home, doing these every single day is what it's going to take to make them faster. Now, lunges. A certain degree of running speed, a large degree of running speed, is how strong is your lower body, how strong and stable. So the lunge is a great exercise because it sort of emulates the demands of running, moving your center of mass from one leg, split stance, over to another leg, similar to running. If you can't lunge effectively, it's going to be tough to get faster. So we're going to go ahead and lunge, stepping down, coming through, drive the arms like you're running, stepping through. Good. Notice she comes down, use that leg to drive up. Now, notice her torso. What we see with a lot of youngsters that aren't very strong is that their torso will cave in. If your torso caves in, it means you don't have the strength, you don't have the extensor strength to actually move forward. So in that case, we work on lunges before we worked on anything else because that's the limiting factor. Now we're going to come over to the wall. You can do this at home. Make sure your hands are clean before you put them on your nice wall and all that. But this is acceleration. What a lot of people don't understand about acceleration when you're running your first couple steps, there's a lot of coaches that have taught it pretty improperly. The whole idea of getting forward by bending at the waist. Bending at the waist is not a good thing. It's not going to help you get faster. So what I want you to do, Chelsea, is we're going to come up on the wall. This drill right here is used by Olympic athletes. The fastest athletes in the world will do this every single day. So she's going to come up the wall. Let's go back a little bit further, about 45 degrees. Nice tight core. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to hold this position. Butt lower. Your butt hips down. There you go. We're just going to hold this position. It's so important that her core is strong enough to hold this position. So usually we'd hold this for about 30 seconds to make sure she's stronger. Now, this is a nice sprint angle right here. Let's go lift up your right leg. Now as she lifts up her right leg, we got our knee up, our heel up, our toe is up. Everything's ready to go. Now, I'm watching right here. Her hips are down. Her glute, if I punch her in the butt, it should hurt my hand. It should be tight. Now let's go ahead and switch legs. She's going to switch legs. Notice her hips stay down. An important part of speed is being able to keep your hips tucked underneath your body and not behind you as you run. That way you'll get full hip extension, full hip flexion. Let's go and switch again. Now that she's got the general idea, you notice she maintains a nice angle here. Every time I say switch, she's going to explosively switch her legs. And switch. And switch. And switch. What I'm looking for here is to make sure this maintains a nice flat angle. If she were to go and stand up for a second. If she were to come here and have her butt sticking out like this, that's teaching her to run like this, and we don't want that. We want the whole body leaning forward. So my advice to you, if you're working with young athletes, old athletes, any athletes, those 5 drills, master those 5 drills, and you'll really learn to create real speed.